Hey guys, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to continue the questions of Foundation Tier 2022 Paper 2. Now, question 19. An airplane traveled from New York City to Los Angeles. The airplane traveled a distance of 3,980 kilometers in 5 hours and 24 minutes. Work out the average speed of the airplane. Give your answer in kilometers per hour, correct to the nearest whole number. So we notice that they want the answer in kilometers per hour. It means we have to turn everything into kilometers and hours. So first, let's take a look at the numbers that we have. We have the distance, which is 3,980 kilometers, and the time is 5 hours and 24 minutes. So first thing we do is we have to turn these minutes into hours. So I'm going to use these together, turn them into minutes, all of them, and then turn them back into hours. So I know that 5 hours, if you want to turn them into minutes, you're going to multiply them by 60. So 5 times 60, calculator. So I'm going to turn the hours into minutes first. 5 times 60 is 300. So 300 minutes. Now I'm going to add them to the 24 minutes that we have. So I can get all of them in minutes. So it's going to be 324 minutes. Now the whole time that I have is 324 minutes. Now I'm going to turn it back into hours by dividing by 60. So I'm going to divide by 60. So 324 divide 60. Now I got the time in hours. So it's going to be 5.4. So the time is 5.4 hours. Now I'm going to use the rule of speed. Speed equals distance over time. Speed equals distance divide time. So speed equals the distance is 3,980 kilometers. Divide the time, which is 5.4. Now I'm going to divide them with a calculator to get the speed. So 3,980 divide 5.4. And the answer is 737.0. So 737.03. And they need the answer to be correct to the nearest whole number, which is 737. So the answer is 737. And the unit is kilometers per hour. And this is the speed of the airplane that travels that distance. This is how you answer a question like this. So focus on turning all of them to kilometers and hours. Focus on how we turn this into hours. First, we turned all the hours into minutes, and then we added the rest of the minutes, and then we divided all of them on 60 to get them all in hours. And then we used them in the formula that we have. Now, let's move on to the next question. Okay, next question. Question 20. Show that 5 and 1 over 3 minus 2 and 6 over 7 equals 2 and 10 over 20. Now, this means you have to do all the steps to show that this one equals this one. So first, we're going to turn them all into mixed numbers. I'm sorry, they're all mixed numbers. I'm going to turn them into a proper fraction. So to turn them into a proper fraction, I'm going to use the method of multiplying and addition in each fraction and using the same denominator. So the first one here, I'm going to use the same denominator, which is 3. And then I'm going to multiply this by this. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. So this one is 16 over 3. This is the first fraction. And then minus, I'm going to do the same here. So I'm going to use a fraction line like this. And then I'm going to do the multiplying and addition part. Now, I'm going to use the same denominator, which is the 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 6 is 20. So this one is 20. And the last one, I'm going to do the same idea. So equals, so I can check if they are the same. So first, I'm going to use the same denominator, which is 21. Let's write it here. And then I'm going to multiply and add. Multiply this by this. And then add the rest to the numerator. So 21 times 2 is going to be 42. 42 plus 10 is going to be 43. Sorry, 52. So 42 plus 10 is 52. Now, I'm going to continue with the question and check. So 42 plus 10 is 52. Yes. Now, this one here is subtraction of fractions. Now, when you subtract fractions, you must have the same denominator. So first thing we do, we're going to make the denominators the same by multiplying them by each other. So I'm going to multiply the 3 by the 7 to make the denominators the same. So a fraction line here, multiply these, and then cross multiply like this. So first I multiply. So 3 times 7 is 21. This is the denominator. Now I'm going to cross multiply. So 7 times 16, let me write it here. 7 times 16 equals 112. And then minus 3 times 20. 3 times 20 is 60. Okay, now I got my fraction here. Now I'm going to subtract the numbers on top and check if the answer gives me the same number. So here, this means equal 112 minus 60, 112 minus 60, and the answer is 52. And then I have 21 in the denominator here. And I got the same fraction that they gave me at the beginning of the question. It means this or these steps show that the answer is the same as the first one. And this is how you answer a question like this. So you have to focus on the steps of showing and steps of addition and subtraction of fractions. Now, let's move on to the next question. Yeah, next question. Question 21. The diagram shows an eight-sided shape, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. This shape here, uh, I have HG, which is 28 centimeters. FG is 12. AB is, and EF are 5, both of them. We already have these, AB and EF. This one is 12, this one is 28, and we have this, which is 20. CD is parallel to HG. CD and HG are parallel. Now, the question is, the area of the shape from A to H, so from A to H, it goes that way. The whole area is 434. 434. Find the length of CD, which is here, CD. So the whole length is 434. They need us to find the length of CD. Now, when we look at the shape, we will understand that this shape is considered as two shapes together, a rectangle and what? And a trapezium. Very good. A rectangle and trapezium. So now, when I subtract 20 from 12, it means this one is 12 and this one is 8. Good. This one is 8. Now, let's move on. Now, because this one is 12, it means this one is 8. Now, I have two shapes. I have the trapezium on the top and I have the rectangle on the bottom. Now, I found the length of, or the height of the trapezium. Now, I can find this line, which is the base of the trapezium, because this one is 28. All of it is 28. And this is 5, and this one is 5. It means I'm going to subtract 10 from 28. So 28 minus 10, the answer is 18. It means that this line here, the red one, is 18. So now I have the long base of the trapezium and I have the height of the trapezium. So I'm missing what? I'm missing the short base of the trapezium. How can I find this? I will find the rectangle's area and then subtract it from the total area, which is 334. And then after doing this, I'm gonna find the short base of the trapezium. Now let's do this here. No. The whole area is 434. Now the rectangle here, I have 12 and 28. So I can find the area of the rectangle by multiplying the width by the length. So the width times the length, width area of the rectangle equals width times length. Okay, equals width is 12 and the length is 28. So 12 times 28, let's do it here. 12 times 28. And the answer is 336. 336. It means the area of the rectangle is 336. Now let's subtract the area of the rectangle from the total area. So 434 minus 336 will give me the area of the trapezium. So 434 minus 336. So the area of the trapezium is 98. The area of the trapezium is 98 centimeters squared. Okay, I square here. Same idea here. This one is centimeters squared. Okay, focus on the units because they're very important. Now I found the area of the trapezium, and I know that the long base is 18, and the short base, I don't know it, but I know that the height is 8. Now let's write the formula of the area of the trapezium here. Area of trapezium equals A plus B, yeah, A plus B in brackets, and A and B are the short base and the long base, multiplied by height, and then all divided by 2. All divided by 2. This is the rule of the area of the trapezium. Okay. Now I know that the area of the trapezium is 98. It's 98. Now I'm going to use this information to find the short base, which is the D. So first I have the long base, which is 18. Now let's put everything here. So 98 equals A plus B. Now A is the short base, so we're going to write it as it is. So A plus B, which is 18, all divided by the height, which is 8, and then multiplied by height, and then divided by 2. Okay. Here we have the formula done. I can divide the 8 by the 2, and it's going to be 4. So 98 equals, here we have A plus 18 multiplied by 4. Okay. As I said, I'm going to divide the 8 by the 2, and it's 4. Now, the 4 is multiplied here, so I can take it to the other side by dividing, like this. This one will go to the other side by dividing. So 98 divide 4. So we will have A plus 18 equals 98 divide 4. So A plus 18 equals 98 divide 4 will equal 24.5. 24.5. Now I'm going to take the 18 to the other side by subtraction. So A equals 24.5 minus 18. And then I subtract them from each other to get the answer that I want. So 24.5 minus 18 equals 6.5. And this is the length of CD. So it equals to 6.5 centimeters. And this is how you answer a question like this. So from the beginning, as we said, we found the length of each line. This one was 8 because the whole thing is 20. And we know that this is 12. And this one was 18. We subtracted 10 from 28. We got 18. And then we we found the length, the area of the rectangle, subtracted from the whole area, and we got the area of the trapezium, which is 98. And then we use the formula of the trapezium's area, find the length of CD, which is A. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to the next question. They only want us to find CD, yes. Okay. The diagram shows triangular or triangle EQR. EQR. We already have the angle 42 and the length of the hypotenuse, which is 9.5. Look at the value of x. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. Now we can see that we have the angle and we have the height, which is the longest line in the right angle triangle. And we are missing this line, which is adjacent to the angle. So basically, this is the height and this is the adjacent. As we studied before, we talked about SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. And we understand every trigonometric ratio and the rule of every one of them. Now we're going to decide which one to use. Now, because we have the adjacent and the height, it means we need something that has the adjacent and the height. This one has the opposite and the height. We can't use it because we can't use the opposite. We don't have it and they don't need it. This one, same idea. It has the opposite in it. We can't use it. So the only one that we can use is the one in the middle, K, which says cosine equals adjacent divide height. Now, let's write the rule of the trigonometric ratio. So cosine of the angle, let's write it here. Cosine of the angle equals adjacent divide height. Adjacent divide height. Let's write it here. Adjacent divide height of the triangle. Now we're going to use this rule to find the length of the adjacent, which is x. Now we know the angle, which is 42. So cosine 42 equals adjacent, which is called x. We don't know. Divide the height, which is 9.5. Now to find x, I'm going to take 9.5 to the other side by multiplying. Because it's divided here, I'm going to take it by multiplying. Like this. So I'm going to multiply it by the cosine of 42. So it means that x equals 9.5 multiplied by cosine of 42. Now I'm going to do the whole thing in the calculator to find the length of the x and then round it to one decimal place. So here we have 9.5 times cosine 42. And the answer is 7.059. So 7.059. We need it to one decimal place. It means one decimal place is here. Look at the number after it, which is 5. It means this one will add 1 to the number before it. So the answer is 7.1 centimeters. 7.1 centimeters. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on the trigonometric ratio, focus on the difference between all the trigonometric ratios and how to use each one of them to find the missing length. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 23. Change a speed of 81 kilometers per hour to a speed in meters per second. So we're going to change the speed from kilometers per hour to meters per second. So basically, we're going to take the 81 kilometers per hour. Let's write it like this. So 81 kilometers per 1 hour. Okay. Now we're going to turn this into meters per second. It means we're going to turn the kilometers into meters. And to do this, we're going to multiply this by 1000. So let's make it as a fraction like this. Yeah. So the kilometers should be multiplied by 1000 here. So multiply 1000. Okay. Over. Let's make a line. And same idea for hours. I'm going to turn it into seconds. So I'm going to multiply it by 3,600 like this. And this is how you turn speed from kilometers per hour into meters per second. So it means I'm going to multiply this by this fraction, 1,000 over 3,600. So I'm going to do this with the calculator. 81 times the fraction of 1,000 over 3,600. And the answer is 22.5. So 22.5 meters per second. Meters per second, like this. So focus on the steps of turning speed from a unit to another because you are turning the kilometers into meters and then turning the hours into seconds. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now let's move on to the next one. Question 24. Pinhas makes 300 celebration cards so that number of birthday cards to the number of anniversary cards to the number of congratulation cards equals 7 to 5 to 3. So all of them are 300. This is the ratio that we are using. 2 over 5 of the birthday cards have numbers on them. 36% of the anniversary cards have numbers on them. None of the congratulation cards have numbers on them. Okay, so the congratulation cards, they have no, all of them, they don't have numbers. What fraction of the 300 cards have numbers on them? Give your answer in its simplest form. So basically, the steps, first thing we're going to do, we're going to find the number of each card. Okay, and then we're going to find the number of the cards that have numbers on them, this one and this one. And then we're going to add them together, divide them by 300, and multiply them by 100 to write it as they need it as a fraction. Yes. So we're gonna write it as a fraction. We're not gonna multiply by 100. So first thing we do, we're gonna add the ratios together, these ratios. So 7 plus 5 plus 3 equals 15. So adding these equals 15, okay? Second step, I'm gonna take the 300, this 300, and divide it by 15. Divide it by 15. Now, when you divide 300 by 15, do it here, divide 15, the answer is 20. So 300 divide 15, let me write it here. 300 divide 15 equals 20. Now I'm going to take the 20 and multiply it by these numbers. So I'm going to take the 20 here, multiply it by the 7, by the 3, and 5 to find how many of these cards are there. So first, 20 times 7 is 140. It means this one is 140 cards. And then 20 times 5 is 100. So this one, or these ones are 100. And then 20 times 3 is 60. It means that these ones are 60. Now I know how many cars we have in each group. Now I need the ones that have numbers on them. 2 out of 5 of the birthday cards have numbers of them. These are the birthday cards. So I'm going to take this fraction, multiply it by 140. So 2 over 5 multiplied by 140. These are the ones that have numbers on them from the birthday cards. So times 140. 2 over 5 times 140. 2 over 5. And the answer is 56. So these are the first ones that have numbers on them from the birthday cards. Second one, let's take a line here. 36% of the anniversary cards, which are here, they have numbers on them. Same idea, I'm going to take the 36%, so 36 over 100, multiplied by the 100. Multiplied by the 100. And I will know how many have numbers on them. Okay? And the answer is 36. So 36 of the anniversary have cards on numbers on them. None of the congratulation cards have numbers on them. So here I don't need to do anything here because none of them have numbers. And then I'm gonna add the ones that have numbers on them, which are 56 and 36. I'm gonna add them together. So 56 plus 36 here. Let's add them. add this, and this. So 56 plus 36. And the answer is 92. Now, I know that 92 cards have numbers on them. The question is, work out the fraction of the 300 cards have numbers on them. Give your answer in simplest form. It means 92 over 300. So the fraction will be 92 over 300. I'll write it like this. This is the fraction. Now I have to simplify it in its simplest form. So this is the fraction. To simplify it, I can divide. Basically, I can divide. Let's see. I can use the calculator. It will help me more. So I'm going to divide, for example, let's see here, 300. If I divide it by 4, I get this. 92 divide 4 is this. Okay, this sounds good. So I'm going to divide by 4. So I'm going to divide this by 4 and this by 4. So 92 divide 4 equals 23. Good. Equals 23. Equals 23. And then when I divide 300 by 4, it's going to be 75. It's going to be 70. So it will equal to 23 over 75. It will equal to 23 over 75. And this is the final fraction that we need in the answer. So focus on the steps. Basically, we added these together and then divide 300 by 15 to find the number that we use to multiply with the ratios to find each one of them. After finding each one of them, we use this fraction, multiply it here to find 56. We multiply 36% by this one to find 36. And then we added them together. We got 92, which is the total number of cards that have numbers on them. And then we put it as a fraction from 300. We simplified it, and the answer is 23 over 75. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to the next question. Okay. Question 25. Pasha invests $50,000 in a savings account for 4 years. He gets 1.3% per year compound interest. Work out how much money Pasha will have in his savings account at the end of 4 years. Give your answer correct to the nearest dollar. Now, we understand that compound interest has a rule to follow. So the rule says original multiplied by brackets. Let's do it like this. I'll write it alone. It will give me the new value, of course, new value. Okay, let me make it bigger. Now, this one, power of years, of course. You have to follow this rule when you're working on the compound interest. 100 plus percentage over 100. Like this, okay? This is the rule of compound interest. Original multiplied by 100 plus percentage over 100. Power of years will give me the new value. So this one is the original, which is 50,000. So I'm going to use it. 50,000 multiplied by 100. Let's use it here. So 100 plus the percentage. We know that the percentage is 1.3, so plus 1.3. And plus means increasing because the interest is increasing. And then over 100, like this. And then with power of years, which is 4 years. Focus on the rule. You have to use the same rule with compound interest. Now the years are 4, so the power will be 4. Now I put the whole thing in the calculator. It will give me the new value of the investment. Now here, let's do it here. And it has to be to the nearest dollar, so no decimal points. So 50,000 times bracket 100 plus 1.3 100 plus 1.3 over 100 and then bracket outside power of 4 and the answer is 52651.1. So 52651.1 1, and when you round it to the nearest dollar, it means it's 52,651. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on the rule of compound interest. You're going to use the same rule all the time with compound interest. You just put the numbers and then use them in the calculator and you'll get the answer. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 26. Solve the simultaneous equations, show clear algebraic work. So we have simultaneous equations here. We're going to solve them. So solving means find the value of x and the value of y. Here, let me cover this so we can work here. Now, in these two simultaneous equations, we notice that this one is 7 and 3, this one is 3 and 1. So I'm going to work on the y and multiply the equation in the bottom by 3 to make it the same as this one. So I'm going to multiply by 3, and the whole equation should be multiplied by the 3, okay? And the one on top, I don't have to multiply. Now let's just write the equation again. So here 7x, let's write it again. So we have the same equation, 7x plus 3y, I'm sorry, equals 3. This is the first equation. Second equation after multiplying is going to be 9x minus 3y equals 21. Okay, equals 21. So focus on multiplying. 9x negative 3y equals 21. Now I'm going to add the equations together. So when we add, we're going to have this eliminated. Okay, because addition will eliminate this. 3y minus 3y is going to be 0. Now let's add these. 7 plus 9 is 16x equals 3 plus 21 is 24. Now I need the x alone, so I'm going to take the 16 to the other side by dividing, or divide both sides by 16. So x will equal 24 divided 16. So x will equal, let's do it with the calculator. Let's do it here. 24 divided 16, and the answer is 1.5. So x equals 1.5. Now I'm going to use this value, substitute it in one of the equations to find the value of y. I can use any equation of these, so I'm going to use the one on top here. So 7x plus 3y, right, equals 3. Now I know that x is 1.5. So 7 multiplied by 1.5, okay, plus 3y equals 3. Now 7 times 1.5, I'll do it with a calculator. 7 times 1.5 will equal 10.5. 10.5 plus 3y equals 3. Now I'm going to take the 10.5 to the other side by subtracting. So 3y equals 3 minus 10.5. And then 3y equals 3 minus 10.5 is negative 7.5. So 3 minus 10.5 equals 7.5. Okay. Okay. Now, next step, or the last step, I'm going to take the 3 by dividing to the other side. So y will be, let's write it here, y will equal negative 7.5 divide 3. So y will equal negative. When I divide 7.5 by 3, the answer will be 2.5. So it's going to be negative 2.5, and this is the final answer. So x equals 1.5 here, and y equals negative 2.5. So focus on the step of elimination, and focus how to use these steps, how to make the equations the same, how to do the steps to find the x and the y. Now let's move on to the next question. Here, zoom out. 27. Question 27. Question 27, we have factorizing, double brackets. So here, let's use double brackets here. So first, we write the brackets and then the x's. So two brackets like this with x. Now, we need to understand that first step we do, we look here, this sign. This one is subtraction sign. So we write subtraction on top of it so we understand. So it means these numbers should be subtracted, and subtraction means different signs. So positive and negative, okay, like this. So subtraction means different signs, positive and negative, okay? So let's write positive here and negative here. Now we need two numbers. When you multiply them, you get negative 24. When you subtract them, you get 5. It means we're going to take the 24 and find the factors of 24. So it's 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. Okay. These are the factors of 24. Now we need two factors. When you multiply them all, you get 24. But when you subtract them, you get 5. I noticed that when you subtract this 3 and 8 here, 3 and 8, they will give you 5. So it means the answer will be 3 and 8. So the sign of the biggest number should take this. So this one should be 8, and this one should be 3. So 8 times 3 is 24, and 8 minus 3 is 5. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, this is factorizing. Now solve using the factorizing that we did. Because we found by factorizing this and this, it means we're going to make them equal to 0. So x plus 8 equals 0. We take 8 to the other side, so x equals negative 8. And then the next one, x minus 3 equals 0. Now we take the 3 to the other side, so x equals positive 3. And this is the solving part of this equation. Focus on this. You need to factorize and then solve. Now let's move on to the next question. Now this one is a long question, so we are going to do it, I think, in the next video because it takes time, okay? We still have 28, so we will do it in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you next time.